This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're in Nottingham here, public workout for Woodconden this Saturday night, live on DAZN. I'm joined by the CEO of Matchroom Sport, Frank Smith. How are you, mate?
That was very good. It's like, I know it's scripted, but like it's very on the.
It's not scripted though.
You just do that off the top of your head. I'm good, mate. How are you?
All good, all good. Just come back from San Diego.
Yeah, lovely San Diego. Had Oscar Beavis out there.
Bevis.
I thought it was Beavis and Butthead. Is that the film or something like that? No, he was out there. Good to have him there. But back in sunny Nottingham. Look, good turnout now. Terry Harper in the ring.
People can't really see, but upstairs is absolutely mobbed.
Yeah, it is. It's packed out. It's like Saturday night's going to be as well. Weigh-in as well on Friday. Open weigh-in is going to be packed.
We just confirmed that the press conference is not open to the public.
No, I personally think press conferences are for press and like to hear what they say. I don't know what you think.
I think this one you could have opened it out. You had two public press conferences, remember, in Belfast and Nottingham back to back, so you could have done this one.
I think this is like the serious one where it's like the last bit of
They're all
talk.
serious, mate.
Yeah, but this is like double serious, where the last bit of talking, and we got this open to the public, got the weigh-in open to the public. Saturday night, fortunately, open to the public as well. So sorry that you don't agree with me, but I think I'm right.
I'm all about the fans.
So am I. But that's why you can watch it live and exclusive on the DAZN or Matchroom Boxing YouTube.
I'll catch it about 40 minutes after on IFL.
What? Why would you wait for that one?
Some people might be at work, having lunch, doing their normal day-to-day activities.
True, fair play. But watch it on Matchroom Boxing. Let's get those social numbers up. You know, Kugan's hogging it at the minute.
Hold tight. Right, before we come onto the card, you and Mr. Hearn having a little move around. Interesting. He dropped you. Interesting.
Fractured my rib.
You are joking, aren't you?
All right. So what happened?
That's the headline, by the way, already.
So I sparred someone else about 3 weeks ago who's quite a bit bigger than me, who thought I could box, didn't know that I didn't have a clue what I was doing, who came in, threw a left hand, or was it? No, a right hand to my ribs, and literally I was gone. And then in the clip where I go down, he hit the same place, Eddie. So he fractured my rib again. I actually said to him in the clip, don't punch me there, which apparently you're not allowed to do in sparring. It was.
What surprised me about that footage that went out on Matchroom and on IFL was that you let it go out on Matchroom and IFL. Was that a collective decision to let that footage go out?
Not really, I don't really care. Like, I just get a load of abuse for my bad hair and my overweight body. But I just think haters gonna hate, you know? And I actually, the guys asked me, they said, are you happy for it to go out? And I said, I don't really care, ask Eddie. And they sent it to Eddie, and he didn't reply, but they put it out anyway. But what pissed me off a little bit is that was a 5 2-minute round spar. They showed about 3 minutes worth of clips, and I owned him in the other 7 minutes. But they are locked away, they are in the archive, like he doesn't want to bring those out. I think he had editorial control of what went out.
Maybe a little leak to IFL, we'll put that in your favour.
Wink.
It's good to see you guys kind of, you're what, 30, he's like nearly 50. It's good to see you guys being active and, yeah, having a little move about.
We actually did it for a bit of fitness. And then when I got in there, it all got a bit serious. I think because there was a load of people watching, he had to show his dominance, didn't he? But we were doing it, we were arguing about a pay rise, and we thought it was the only way to fairly sort it out, so.
What a pay rise for him?
Yeah, I didn't agree with it, but, you know, we went ahead.
Yeah, that's not the first time I've seen you spar actually, but let's not talk about that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you've got some other clips of me sparring.
Still got it, in case you want it. If you ever want to release it for a documentary, it's somewhere there in the archives of IFL.
What, like a compilation of me getting beaten up, basically? Basically, a load of them we could just put out as part of a documentary.
If people knew the level of profile of people that were at that spar. Yeah, that's all I'll say.
That was a great story. That's another one in years to come. When I'm about 60, I'll say, do you remember when he did this? And people go, rubbish. And I'll be like, no, watch this. Kugan will show you.
Well, I will give you full permission and rights to that video right now, on camera.
Thank you. I appreciate that, mate. We'll never see the light of day because I got embarrassed. Again.
Let's talk about Woodconden this week. Absolutely brilliant fight. We've seen kind of the little the back and forth from the original press conference involving the trainers as well. Are we going to see more of that spill into tomorrow's press conference, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think the whole week we're going to see it. I can't wait for tomorrow's press conference. I can't wait for Friday's weigh-in. It's a big fight. It's a huge fight for both of these guys. I'm happy for Lee Wood that he got, a massive opportunity to fight in Nottingham, defend his world title. And Michael's been waiting a long time for this. I can't wait for it, and I can't wait to see Ben Davison go at it again.
With Jamie Conlon more so. Obviously Adam Booth's here, but the Jamie Conlon and Ben Davison little war of words could continue as well tomorrow.
Yeah, that 4 ball of Ben Davison, Adam Booth, Jamie Conlon and Eddie Hearn going at it.
What could go wrong?
I know, I can't wait for it. Lucky I'm not up there.
Card's got some other very interesting fights on it, including Gary Cully, who takes on Miguel Vasquez. Big step up for Gary Cully.
Yeah, look, I've heard a lot about Gary Cully. I had a lot of people pushing to get Gary Cully on board for a long time. And I'm excited to see him. He's spoken very highly of, so good to have him on board for the show on Saturday. You got Aguiarco, he's fighting Rubio as well. Terry Harper's back. Unfortunately, her opponent Heather Hardy pulled out, but we managed to get a replacement for her. So glad she's still on the show. Sandy Ryan in a step-up fight as well. Stacked card from top to bottom. So excited for it.
Tune in unless you've got a ticket here in Nottingham. Then we'll see you there.
Exactly. Are we done?
No, we're not done. We're not done.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, tune in. That's the one. Live and exclusive on DAZN.
So, you've just announced Conor Benn's next fight, April 16th, AO Arena, Manchester, against Chris Van Heerden. We kind of knew that was going to be the case. Can I ask you a question? Yeah. So this fight was meant to be announced post the Coley, Sunday night at the O2, a week and a half ago. It wasn't. Am I to assume that the reason it wasn't announced is because you were kind of maybe looking at seeing what the situation is regarding Kell Brook? Is there any truth in that?
There was discussions, I think Eddie spoke about them as well, about looking at trying to make the Kell Brook fight. That's a great fight. I think Conor Benn would have gone in there and done a job on Kell Brook. But it was a bit unrealistic on the money. I think they're now doing the Amir Khan rematch.
Are they?
Well, that's what they're saying, that he's invoked his rematch clause. So let's see if it happens. I'm not too sure. We're not involved in that, obviously, but I still think Conor Benn against Kell Brook's a massive fight down the line. I think Chris Van Heerden's a good learning fight for Conor. We tried to make the Maurice Hooker fight as well for him, but unfortunately Maurice was injured, so that didn't happen. But I think Conor's got some huge fights down the line, and there's no rush with him as well. He's still so young, but he's ready to take on every challenge. Whether that's Amir Khan, whether that's Kell Brook, whether that's Chris Eubank Jr., any of those names, he'll take on anyone.
Is there any legs in Conor Benn fighting your brother-in-law?
If one of them takes a bit of weight off and one puts some weight on.
Chris sounds like he's up for that fight.
Yeah, I suppose it just depends what weight they could both get to. I think Conor has got other ideas as well. Like he wants to fight Kell Brook as well, which is a fight that is a little bit more sensible and easy to be made in terms of weight divisions. But I don't see any reason why the Eubank fight can't happen. It just depends where they could both get to. So let's wait and see. Maybe that's a huge one for next year.
But it is the case with Conor Benn that sometimes it needs a little bit of levelling out a little bit, because he will fight anyone. So that's why he's got people around him to say, hold on a minute, it's not necessarily the best fight for you to take now. Wait one fight, because he will fight anyone.
Yeah, 100%. I actually personally think if Amir Khan's fighting on, Amir Khan against Conor Benn would be a good fight. I still think that's a good fight as well to be made. But that's why fighters have people around them. Ultimately we will do. At the end of the day, Conor is the boss. The fighters are the boss. They'll make the decision. But we'll give our advice on what we think's best. So maybe that's a fight, the Kell Brook one, that can be made later in the year. Definitely something that Conor's interested in.
I know Eddie's kind of touched on this out in San Diego, but are we any kind of wiser to the Anthony Joshua situation regarding the Usyk fight? Are we kind of waiting to see what happens? We know Usyk's is in a difficult situation at the moment regarding what's going on, but when will a decision on that be made?
Look, Usyk's obviously got much more important matters at hand at the minute, so we're completely mindful of that. I think in due course, as soon as we can make an announcement and put plans in place, we will do. Anthony's ready for anyone. He's ready to take on Alexander Usyk if that fight was possible. But otherwise, maybe we'll have to look at an interim fight. So I think over the next week to 10 days, we'll see how that situation plays out and see what Usyk's thinking. But as I say, he's got things much more important than boxing to focus on right now. And our thoughts are obviously with him and everyone affected.
Absolutely. In regards to Anthony Joshua, he's been on social media today responding to quite a few tweets.
Called you out, didn't he?
He called me out. No, steady on, Frank. He just said I'd chase him around boxing venues.
I thought that was the interim fight we were going to do, you and AJ.
I don't know.
I reckon
Let's talk numbers. I think it would, yeah. So how much do I want to get paid to die, basically?
No, I think you just got to stay behind the jab, edge back into the corner, and then run to the other corner a few times.
You're giving me advice about how to fight Anthony Joshua. It's brilliant. This is what IFL's all about. But he responded to a few tweets regarding certain fighters. One name that's been thrown in there as a potential interim fight, if that's what you want to call it, is Otto Wallin. Has that been spoken about?
Not sure why that would make any sense at all. Otto Wallin's not too relevant. I think it depends. If we're going to set a date for him to go back in there and fight for the the unified titles, then it's a fight that it all depends how things play out. It's hard to say now what level of opponent he's going to face because we don't know what the time period is. What are we waiting for? Are we waiting until July, August for the Alexander Usyk fight? So I think we just have to get more details on that, and then we can work on opponents from there. But AJ's willing to fight anyone. He always has shown that. He could have vacated his belt and not fought Usyk like a lot of people thought he was going to do. But he showed that he'll go in there against anyone. So I think let's see how the Usyk situation plays out and then go from there.
I'm assuming, just finally, that trying to match him, if potentially for this interim fight, I use in air quotes, must be the hardest fight to probably match him in his whole career because he's got that Usyk fight there at some point. But what fight do you take with kind of a risk but not really a risk before that fight? It must be very difficult.
Yeah, look, I think as well, one other thing, he's obviously got a new training team, or has announced his plans with his training. So, he's the boss of it. So he decides what he wants to do. There's a lot of heavyweight options out there. I saw Frank Warren saying Joe Joyce would definitely take that fight. It's funny. Imagine that. Imagine that Joe Joyce would definitely fight the biggest, heavyweight star. What are the chances of that? But lots of options out there for Anthony Joshua. So let's see how things play out.
But he bit on that comment about the Joe Joyce saying, what, you don't think I'd fight Joe Joyce? That's kind of mentality. But I think that fight is probably, not because either fighter wouldn't take it, but I'm saying is probably unrealistic as this fight in between now and Usyk.
Look, I think he needs if he's going to have a quick fight in between, then there's a certain grouping of opponents that make sense for that. And then he will move on to the unified fight from there. AJ's not scared of fighting anyone. He's going to go and fight Usyk, who just beat him. He went back in there against Andy Ruiz, who he lost against. He's not scared of challenges, but it also has to make sense for the career.
Frank Smith, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. We'll enjoy our week in Nottingham. We haven't been here since when? Come on, Matchroom.
When Jordan Gill fought and Lee Wood fought in the arena in the Next Gen show. And my mind has completely blanked as to who it is. But it was about 2 or 3 years ago.
Are you sure that was in Peterborough?
No, Peterborough, Jordan Gill won. The night Jordan Gill lost was in Nottingham, wasn't it? Or am I completely making it up?
Keep him entertained for 1 second, because I need to
We're testing KUGAN's boxing knowledge here.
Your boxing knowledge?
Well, if I'm right, then that's quite impressive, no?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I've sort of switched roles here. I've never really been much of a man for questions or asking myself questions. What is it? Let's have a look. Well, it's the fight he lost, wasn't it?
That one.
Yeah. To know, go on event. No, what are you doing? He doesn't know how to use BoxRec. Sorry, people.
No, hold on. I don't use
Right, go back. I'll show.
No, I'll find it. I'll put it.
There's a much quicker way of doing it. It's a bit like when your mum goes on your phone and tries to use like Facebook and post the status to everyone. This is what KUGAN and technology is like. Can I just do it?
No, yeah, it is. You're right.
Yeah. Was it right? Nottingham Arena, what year? 2019. Told you, 3 years ago.
I wasn't at this fight.
Well, that was. You were thinking it was Froch against Butte, weren't you?
No, I thought it was Froch against Yusuf Mack.
That as well. that as well. But we've just shown that my knowledge of dates and venues is better than yours.
You're in the game, Frank. I'm on the outskirts. Remember that.
Great to have you here, Cougar Bear. I know you only do like the big nights these days, so thank you.
I'm at everything.
Yeah, you are everywhere, but you just pick and choose. I'm quite honoured that you interviewed me.
You're out of order, mate.